So a ribbon has a top edge and a bottom edge. If we're just looking at one side, we see a top and a bottom edge. It might have a fancy cut end, it might not, but this is us looking at a ribbon from one side. We want to look at a ribbon from both sides, like it's twisting and turning in the air. What I don't want you to do is draw a top edge line that zigzags too harshly, not this time. I also don't want a top edge that is too loose, like this. And I also don't want a line for the top edge that loops over itself. So instead, what I'd like you to do is draw a top edge line that very loosely goes back and forth, but not too loosely, like this. Then we need to decide on how thick this ribbon is. We're going to go to one of the corners. I know it's not a sharp corner, but I'm going to call it a corner. And we're going to draw a line for how thick this ribbon is. And however long we make that line, it's going to be the same length on every corner and at the beginning and end of the ribbon. So we're going to draw a line that's the same length every time. Now that one right there was hidden a little bit, so it wasn't as long. But I'm going to make sure all my lines are the same. Now I need to add the bottom edge of the ribbon. I start by this corner right here, and I'm going to shoot to the other side, to the end of that width. And I'm going to make sure that that line I just drew curves like the top edge of the ribbon curves. So I'm going to start here and shoot for the other corner, and I made a mistake. I made the ribbon too thick. It needs, your top edge and bottom edge need to be the same distance from each other all the way around. A ribbon doesn't get thicker or thinner. It stays the same width. Now in this one, I have to kind of imagine where the bottom of that width line would be. And then I make sure I curve it like the top edge and shoot for the other corner. Curve it down, and shoot for that edge right there, that bottom line. Same thing, it needs to be the same distance from the top edge all the way around. Curving up, and flattening out a little bit. And there we go, and we're going to complete, that's our ribbon. Now, this ribbon is not see-through, it is not transparent, so there are some lines I'm going to need to erase. So you need to think carefully. You're not seeing through the ribbon, so you need to think about what lines you need to erase. You may accidentally erase the top or bottom edge lines. That's okay. You can just come back and draw them back in with your pencil. But go slowly to erase the lines you don't need. I have to draw back in a little bit. Okay, and once we get our ribbon where we can see both the left and the right sides of the ribbon, we're going to want to put some value on it. Remember, that means we need a light source. Let's just say the light source is coming from the right. That means the right side of the ribbon, right here, everywhere I'm pointing, the right side of the ribbon is going to be the lightest value. So I'm going to take my pencil and make the right side of the ribbon the lighter value. I'm using light pressure with my pencil. I'm blending with my finger. Remember, the light source is on the right, so the lightest values are going to be on the right side of the ribbon. So I'm going to do that all the way around on the right side of the ribbon. So if the right side is in the light, that means the left side is in the shadows. So we're going to need a darker value there. So I'm going to take my pencil with more pressure to create a darker value on all the left sides of the ribbon. Okay, so I'm also using my finger, using more pressure, more layers to get a darker value. It's in the shadows. It's not getting any light. You can turn your paper so that you can shade more comfortably and get into all the little corners. Remember to go slow with your shading and control the pencil. We're not scribbling. It's not a race. If you blend or smudge outside of your lines, you can just erase it with your pencil, clean it up. And now we have a ribbon that is kind of flowing, swirling through space. Got two sides, one's in the light and one's in the shadows. And the more you practice, the better you'll get.